Been some criticism of the Trump administration saying they're going to be taking names and considering funding. What do you think of it?
Well, you're going to have to ask Ambassador Haley. I think the position of the United States President is a bold position, a courageous decision. In the same way President Truman took a bold decision in 1948, many countries will follow the U.S. with this courageous decision. Thank you very much.
Okay, here we are. It's Thursday, December 21st. And in that building over there with the round roof, there's a vote, or at least the meeting starts at 10 a.m. to declare the determination by the Trump administration that the U.S. Embassy would move to Jerusalem. The General Assembly will be voting to declare it null and void. Must be rescinded. Now, the General Assembly actually doesn't have the power to really order that kind of thing, but it's done to give a sense of the views of the international community. And there's a lot of outrage at statements by first Nikki Haley and then Donald Trump that they'll be taking names in terms of U.S. funding. The outrage being, how could you try to control someone's vote? In this church of purity where they throw journalists in the street for reporting on their corruption. No hearing, no appeal. But I digress. The UN and money go together like, well, excrement in a toilet. And why? Because the last Secretary General bought the position. South Korea traveled around giving grants and soccer balls and various things. Hello. Only last year, Saudi Arabia said, if you don't take us off the child killer list for Yemen, we'll take our money back. So this is widely known. Hey, what's happening? I'm taking you as a yes, maybe an abstention. Come on. I'm saying Rwanda might abstain. You heard it here first. I could be wrong. But I'm going to mark down Rwanda as an abstention. Here comes Thomas Monte, the chair of the Fifth Committee. Cameroon, they might abstain too, actually. They love that kind of stuff. He's going in. It's a big day. He's just had the Commonwealth partying down with Paul Biya as the corpses pile up. All right, in your new capacity.
Matthew,
is he going to do a stakeout?
Yeah.
Good.
Together with the Palestinians.
Okay. Okay, now the stream is picked up. Canada. Ooh, Canada, possible abstention. I don't know. I could be wrong. Again, this is a. But my ignorance precede me. I'm saying that Rwanda and Canada might abstain. I might be wrong. Here comes Lithuania. I'm putting them yes. I'm saying they're a yes. Poland, not so much. Lithuania? Yes. Hey. I think it's overwhelming. I've seen a couple of surprises just from the way. This guy is an absolute yes. We have Egypt. That's a yes, but he's going to the council. It will be his perm rep. We'll be casting the ballot here. Let's see. With Kazakhstan, they're going yes, but they're going to the council. Next month, Security Council President, Kazakhstan. Moving on through. So far, I'm counting at about 101 to 2 abstentions. Danny Danon, a solid no, and a speaker. He will speak. The man of the hour. No bodyguards, just a spokesman. He's coming over. All right. Hi.
Good morning, Ambassador. Are you ready? A few words before the vote?
Today we will see another shameful resolution in the General Assembly. Jerusalem has been, and always will be, the eternal capital of the Jewish people. No UNESCO resolution, no empty speeches, no General Assembly can change that reality. We send those brave countries that we stand today with the truth. No one can rewrite history. No one can change the Bible. We will continue to make sure that Jerusalem is open to all religions. Thank you very much.
There's been some criticism of the Trump administration saying they're going to be taking names and considering funding. What do you think of it?
Well, you're going to have to ask Ambassador Haley. I think the position of the United States President is a bold position, a courageous decision. In the same way President Truman took a bold decision in 1948, many countries will follow the U.S. with this courageous decision. Thank you very much.
There you go. This is the big one. This is Nikki Haley. She's going in.
Ambassador, a few words. Ambassador, please, a few words.
There we go. Well, the notepad wasn't seen, but the names will be taken. Where will they go? We don't know. Game on. It's time to go to the booth. I'm booth bound. Got to see. Oh, great. Okay, then. Well, you've seen it here. The entrance of Nikki Haley. A few words from Danny Danon. Some ambiguous abstainers. I believe that guy is he Kuwait? Okay, the stragglers are coming in. The votes are being corralled. Pakistan. Solid yes. Hello. That's a yes vote. Qatar is on the move. This is a yes vote. Cyprus? I'm saying they're a yes vote. They're in the Asian group. Come on. The poll is... Speaking of the polls, where is the poll? Cyprus. I'm saying they're a yes. All right. Hello. That is quite a coat. Crane? The Crane? If they were yes in the council, how can they not be yes in the GA? It's possible. You can imagine a philosophy that says this is just piling on. Maybe as a Security Council member, they voted yes because they wanted to back up Security Council resolutions. And there is a way. Yes. All right. Let's rock it. Okay.
The President this morning resumed the 37th plenary meeting of the 10th Emergency Special Session of the General Assembly. It is still going on right now. A resolution entitled Status of Jerusalem, which was tabled by Turkey and Yemen, was adopted by a vote of 128 in favor to 9 against, with 35 abstentions. Any questions? Maddie?
Gotta go coins. I mean, maybe the secretary will look into it, but the way it was said to me, and maybe it was missaid, was that somehow the PJA or the PJA's office was involved in the determination of whether during the meeting or prior to this vote, replica coins could be placed on all the tables. And I guess I want to understand, like, can they be? Was the request made? Was it denied? Where are the coins?
Sure. Well, first of all, this has nothing to do with the President of the General Assembly. The Department of General Assembly Affairs and Conference Management, which is part of the Secretariat, they were involved with this decision. I don't speak on their behalf, but for your information, they do put out a delegate's handbook for all delegations, and in that delegate's handbook, it does say only United Nations documents and statements of speakers can be distributed in the hall before or during a meeting. Any other pertinent materials can be made available in the General Assembly Hall only upon authorization by the Chief of the General Assembly Affairs Branch. So I refer you to that individual.
But I guess I've seen in votes for the Human Rights Council and other bodies, I've seen definitely, not necessarily very expensive gifts, but kind of swag bags, promotional materials, not just pieces of paper, but sometimes objects. Does that mean that in those instances it was approved by this branch chief, and in this instance it wasn't approved by the branch chief?
There have been certain General Assembly decisions related to election materials, which have been taken. I don't have the information right in front of me right now, but for this matter about the coins, I would refer you to the Secretary. Nothing to do with the President at all.
Okay.
Yes.
Are there other UN agencies you intend to join? No, I was going to ask about the case downtown, but our friend Carman, he's a free press guy. He's an UNGA guy. On topic. So there it was. You've seen it. You've seen it here. The foreign minister of Turkey, assisted by his former journalist spokesman, saying, stay on topic. No questions about a Knicks player. Also, no question about the Iranian sanctions case downtown in the Southern District, where they are actually threatening and locking people up in Turkey that are witnesses in the case. Onto the private jet. Keep on rolling. Oh, look, wait a moment. We have, yes we do, DPI, he's the man who censors inner city press, the man who delivered to it a threat to its accreditation for daring to say how it had been evicted and restricted by the Department of Public Information, is smiling broadly today in front of the General Assembly. What the relation to DPI is, nobody knows. Nobody knows. See, some journalists are allowed outside of the pen, but we're not. Why? Because this gentleman, Mr. Maher Nasser, of the Department of Public Information, he was in charge for a few months, and he did nothing. Absolutely zero. He blocks any critical voices on Twitter, which is fine. He delivers false threats to inner city press's accreditation. And he represents the UN Department of Public Information, despite all of its high-minded talk, a place with no rules, no due process for journalists, favoritism of an Egyptian state media which never comes in. Akbar al-Yam, awarded inner city press's office, is never there, has not asked a question in 2 years. This is one of the two people most responsible. But he's here. Now, the coins. What happened with the coins? This is a story that Inner City Press will get to the bottom of. There was a reference to coins, but the coins were not there. We remain on the case, on the beat, where the UN, they say that the UN, the Secretariat, is just a neutral arbiter upholding the values of international law. It's false. They're prejudiced, incompetent, and unaccountable, and unresponsive. The Department of Public Information, I'm holding my tongue because the double standard is simply too much to bear. Yes, it's true. Here's how they go. Maybe there'll be an event in the bookstore and they can bar certain questions that they don't like. Maybe they can burn books in the bookstore. Here it is, the Department of Public Information. You can find it online. You can find a photograph where the Department of Public Information bans journalists from its propaganda communications of how great they're doing. Can't answer any questions. Now, if a journalist that covers UN in depth is thrown out, shouldn't they get a hearing? No hearing ever given. In fact, this gentleman said, and we'll repeat it here, he said, but didn't you confess? Because Inner City Press said we're willing to mop the basement to have the regular access that Akbar al-Yam, Egyptian state meter dictatorship, has. He said, but you made a confession. You did a confession. Franz Kafka. Well done. Well played. Okay, and we remain here at the stakeout. These gentlemen, there it is. This gentleman, Mr. Maher Nasser, went out to Unca Muckety Muck, John Paolo Pioli's Hampton spread. Yes, he did. Totally inappropriate. It's a group that tries to get journalists thrown out of the UN. He went and partied with them in the Hamptons, and then the journalists that they conspired to throw out blocked them on Twitter, didn't answer any questions, and threatened its accreditation. The UN is corrupt. Top to bottom, bottom to top. We end as we began, here at the United Nations. Look. Where's the little symbol? There it is. Hey, United Nations, you're corrupt. Right. But it's been circulated, though, right? Yeah. Russia said it was. Yeah. Finish? Definitely.
Yeah, that's it.
Nothing?
Nothing. Why didn't you vote on Jerusalem? Why didn't you vote? Well, there's no answer to that one. Smoke on the Walkers. He's a rock and roll fan. Hang on. We'll do the video. I'm going to put that little non-interchange out.
Did you really get the resolution across?
No. If I yeah. Okay, great. I'll put in. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. There was a call yesterday about the foreign fighters. And they said that they would send the draft, and they still didn't. Yeah. Nothing. They literally said on the call. I asked them a question, a little back and forth. It was already in blue. There's no controversy. They just didn't want to send it. Anyway. C'est la vie. Ukraine. The non-voter. Voting should be required, we believe. Stand up and be counted, especially if you voted in one chamber. You got to vote in the other. Okay, to be continued. What about the budget? Do you have any thoughts on the budget getting done? It's your money. It's your money at work. Okay then. Things look like it'll be a vote tomorrow, 1 p.m. 65 questions about DPRK, nothing about money. Budget cut, $250 million. It is requested. 1B. Will the number rise? Based on today's action, nobody knows. The doors are closing. The time is coming to an end. We too must go.